How's it going, my friends? Today I have a treat for you. We're going to be discussing AI for content creators. We're going to be discussing business ownership as content creators. We're going to be discussing creator burnout and all the things that kind of come as a result of that, as well as how it happens and kind of how we get through it. So much cool stuff we're going to talk about with our special guest today, who is the one and only Peter Hollens. Peter, thanks for joining us here on Income School. Gosh, it's a little bit, for me, surreal that we talk so much, because I've seen you on YouTube as a content creator for years. Really enjoy your content because I'm kind of a fellow acapella dork. And so it's a lot of fun. So love talking content creation and stuff and AI and all the cool things with you. But why don't you introduce yourself to this audience in case anybody here doesn't already know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Peter Hollens. I've been doing the dorky acapella thing, one man, on YouTube since about 2011, full time. I stumbled upon multiple ways to be able to be working with companies along the way, and so like the juxtaposition between being isolated in a studio in front of a mic making 150 tracks per music video, and I have like 450 of them now through 13 and a half years of doing it professionally, and then working hand in hand with companies like Patreon and Spotter and a bunch of other companies I've worked with along the years. Like, it's been just such an incredible juxtaposition, and it's allowed me the desire to create other companies. Like, I created an education company called Creator Education. I created an e-commerce site selling physical albums to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, selling beautiful music with lots of other artists and getting to pay artists. And I'm kind of like I do everything because I'm a dorky ADHD eclectic weirdo. So I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place, Ricky.
Yeah, I wonder how many people watching this can relate to that, because it takes something special to be a content creator, business owner, all the stuff, and wear all the hats.
Oh yeah. Yes. I along the way, I grew to about 12-person W-2 headcount, like about 20 contractors. Really, really burnt out along the way after I had an issue with my voice and I was unable to like actually create the thing that needed to support all these businesses. And like, truthfully, like being a content creator and having this algorithm that we need to feed and is really, really difficult. And I think after this many years, I can be proud of how long I made it with being so consistent and so to the grindstone. But this is a hard job, and I think a lot of people don't see it as that. This is an incredibly difficult business, one in which I kind of like see the Venn diagram of being a Silicon Valley startup with being like a C-level movie star in terms of the fame thing, but then also this extraordinarily difficult, and I don't mean this like really in a negative way, but like there's some aspects of like truly being almost like you're addicted. You are addicted to what you do, the algorithm, the feelings you get, and the dopamine hit you get from the comments and the responses and the emails of like, oh my gosh, you've changed my life, or you've saved my blog, and I'm like, and you get so addicted to it, but the entire thing is like so crumpled up and I can't stop. And if I stop, oh my gosh, it's all going to fall apart. And we're building our business on somebody else's sandbox, and it's a hard business. So I feel every one of you out there.
I know I can 100% relate to what you're talking about. And so that just leads me to believe that a lot of content creators probably go through different variations of the same thing. And if you haven't yet, it's probably just a matter of time before you realize how maybe dependent you've become to, like, again, all of those feelings and all of it becomes like this emotional roller coaster, because the tides change fast sometimes. And you mentioned a voice issue. I mean, that's like central to the content that you make.
Yeah, just singing, yes, is paramount to have a good
pretty
healthy
important
voice. Yeah.
Right now, you've been working with Spotter. So what led to that? You're still putting out content. You're doing a lot with stuff that you've made in the past. You're doing some cool things still. So you're an active content creator. Why go work with someone else?
Well, as somebody who truly has never had a job in my entire life and actually worked for someone else and been able to finally release that external, like what happens after like the quote 9 to 5. Like I was like, all these people that I'm friends with, that like our kids are friends with, are like, yeah, well now after work I get to do. I'm like, no, but my brain is always thinking about work, and I always feel regret that for not working. And once I kind of like let go a lot of my staff, I wanted to be alongside and working with other people to build something much, much, much bigger than myself that I couldn't do alone. I never felt comfortable taking venture capital money, and building it by yourself, you can only do so much. I wanted to be working alongside people that taught me things day after day, that could tell me when I made mistakes instead of my own employees always telling me yes. Even if I created a culture of like, tell me when I'm wrong, I wanted to experience that. I wanted to experience what it was like working alongside Stanford and Yale grads and Wharton MBA. Like, it's a really inspiring place to be alongside these people who are building something that I think is going to change the lives of hundreds of thousands of creatives. And so I did it because I needed to be rejuvenated, because I was just so incredibly burnt out. Just so, like, I was a fraction of who I knew I was. I mean, I lost my identity in the losing my voice, and then I really truly lost my confidence for the first time in like 30 years, because I was like, well, I failed. Like, I can't do it. I had to fire people the first time. I mean, it's so hard. And so I wanted to like regain who I was, why I was, and that's really been really life-giving to be working on a product that actually is providing such incredible value for other creators.
Sean Cannell from Think Media, he told me once that real life starts at about 40 as far as careers go. So like everything before that is kind of a warm up. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about the fact that like I've in different ways, but I've kind of gone through similar things. I didn't lose my voice or but I've had some things that have happened that have definitely shaken my confidence. And as a business owner, a content creator, things come crushing in on you and you just feel like, man, I've totally failed. And that was something that Sean told me was like, yeah, hey, this was practice. You're ready for the real stuff now. But
yeah, our failures are in the moment, like anything you would do to get away from it. But then later on, I'm like, wow, I in the moment when I was signed to Sony Music, I was like, I would do anything to get rid of this. And it was like the hardest thing I ever went through back in 2013, 2014. And now I'm like, I'm so glad I did that. I learned so much. I can evangelize, tell people what to look out for in contracts and why you would only want to create your own iteration of your multimedia company and the digital media company that we're all constantly creating and putting out there.
Right. Yeah, totally. Sweet. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about Spotter? I did a video introducing some cool AI tools specifically for YouTube that were coming. It's here now, right? So people can actually go get it now. But what's the point? Like, there's lots of YouTube tools. And there's tons of AI tools and there's stuff that's free.
And we're always going to have an incredible wealth of automation and AI in our lives forever now.
Yeah.
I think the really cool thing, at least on the macro side of like seeing YouTube really prioritize this, is just showcasing how vital it is to creators to incorporate in their behavior utilization of tools to maximize the potential of their creativity. My perspective on Google and Alphabet in totality of like watching the way that they've built their business, they ideate so many different ideas, and they always start it, and most of the time they just start prioritizing other stuff because it's a publicly traded company. They need to do things for the shareholders. I think it's amazing that they're offering it for free internally to Studio. It's just nowhere near like what we've built. And any company prioritizing something over another company that's just so huge and so bloated, it takes so long for decisions to be made. I'm just like, there's just no way. The smaller, more agile companies will always win due to the fact that like we're living in a world in which like the future billion-dollar companies is going to have 2, 3, 4 employees.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so fun. I think it's so fun because truthfully, like the future is one in which the idea makers of the future are going to be able to have everything they can think of. We're going to be able to come up with an idea on a walk, come back, and then create it. Or maybe start creating it as we're walking home because we're just telling our autonomous agents or the eyeglasses we're watching or, to start creating this idea that I just had. And then by the time you get home, maybe it's live. Maybe it's already making revenue. The question about like what we're building at Spotter is we're building something we already know and we've already created alongside the top YouTubers in the entire world for them. The organic story is that the top YouTubers were at this YouTube summit for Spotter, and they personally asked Spotter to lean in and make this, because they were like, this was 3 weeks after OpenAI came out. They were like, oh my gosh, can you figure out this AI thing for us? And so I truly think they have, and they're prioritizing it to such an incredible end. And I've never worked so closely with a product and engineering team that I've been so impressed with as humans, and the ethos that's just like coming out of the people who are spearheading this product with Paul Backus and Rob Gable and the like is just so fun to be alongside, and they're always constantly speaking to creators like yourself and getting input on the features set that we're creating and like the why to be able to like maximize our time. I mean, so much of my time on like a project by project basis is always in the ideation research phase. And so me jumping in really quickly and being able to have data-backed reasons on actually starting a project, if I'm concentrating on top of funnel, so I know something is already trending, it's gonna attract a lot of eyeballs. It is so like life-giving. I remember the first time I got like my first check in the mail from Patreon, and just knowing like the release, the anxiety release of being like, I can guarantee on this next month and the next month. And it's like, now I can hire my second employee, my third employee, because I know I can pay them. Like this is the first thing that has come across my creator sphere that has given me a similar feeling. And to that, as soon as I saw it, because I was part of like the MVP of this, just like you and your team were, and I got to really lean in and help build features out. I was like, as soon as I felt that and I saw it, I was like, I need to help this. I need to help evangelize it, with a big speakerphone. And I think just seeing companies like Google doing it as well is like, yep, this is absolutely the right thing to do for creators.
So you're working with Spotter. What are you doing there? What's your role there then?
So one of the things I was evangelizing after I lost my voice was the value of a creator to be intricately woven into the fabric of a company. The fact that like I've been able to build multiple very successful companies speaks, in my opinion, to my bandwidth and capabilities of not only being somebody that understands go-to-market, but understands partnerships and understands community and understands storytelling. And so when I created my company, In-House Creators, it was to place people like myself at companies, because in the moment, I couldn't get any of these companies that I had advised or invested into just hire me for 3 days. Like, I'm on the market. I have time. I can't sing, but I sure as heck can help you. Like 10x from what I'm asking. And it was really difficult to get even some of the people that I admire and respect as some of my mentors to bring me in. I think due to the complex aspects of the way that people perceive creators versus like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. Just because I create content as my top of my funnel doesn't mean that I'm like an immature little dweeb that has never built 7-figure businesses. I'm like, hello. So built that. Ended up placing a bunch of creators, seeing how I couldn't evangelize it to the people who were really moving the needle in a way that I thought was significant, because I'm grandiose. I like making big things. I got to really help a lot of creators, but not enough and not fast enough. And so I leaned in at one of the companies, Spotter, and I was like, could you hire me? I mean, I had already placed 2 creators there to help consult on the product, and Rob Gable brought me in and evangelized me to the team, and so I've been intricately woven across like multiple different verticals. And I think the one that I'm really pushing and proud of now is that I've really helped establish this partnership side of being able to get people like yourself aware of the product. I never get like, oh, there's a secret, so don't talk about it, but like helping getting it in front of the right creators, right? Like, I think that's the thing I'm really concentrated on now. I really want to teach the company itself how absolutely paramount it is to be more transparent, show the heart of the company, the why of the company through content. And so that takes time and comfortability. As long as they'll allow me, I will speak in a unfiltered, heart first evangelist way of like why we're building it, why I'm there, why I'm spending my time there. I'm not like, I need a job, because like I've done really well. I'm like, I want to have meaning in my life. And thus far, I get to have meaning working alongside the people that I admire and respect. I admire and respect our product, and I want to get it in front of people and make a difference. So yeah, it's fun. I get to do engineering stuff, product stuff, partnership stuff, some BD stuff. I mean, it is like what I was evangelizing. And so I'm kind of proving out my thesis in real time.
It's a perfect combination of things for the entrepreneurial person, the ADHD business owner type. I mean, It's perfect. I think it'd be great to dive in a little bit to the product itself, take a look at it, and just show how it works, because this is a fantastic tool. I mean, I've been using it for a while. We'll let you kind of show us some things. It's a fantastic tool, and I don't know, I guess I would just second what you say. I've had the opportunity, the pleasure to meet several of the people involved in creating this product, from the engineering side to, you mentioned Rob Gable's just awesome dude, and every person, even right up to, Aaron, the CEO of Spotter, just fantastic people who are creating something incredible. Like you said, like if Alphabet, right, if Google, through YouTube in this point, if they're investing in AI-based inspiration for content creators, if that's something that they care about, then it's obviously something that's important. But what I've seen so far shows that Spotter is like so far ahead because of their agility, their focus on this one aspect of content creation, this ideation side of things, which is so critical, like so key to doing good things. Just the ideation phase is fantastic. So I think we should dive in, take a look at the product itself.
All right, let me show you.
Awesome.
With Spotter Studio, you can research video ideas effectively, brainstorm off of those ideas in your own style, and project manage those ideas to help you create better videos more consistently. You can spot outlier videos, generate hundreds of thumbnails all in one place, and collaborate with your team right there. We're going to start with the absolute basics of how to brainstorm one idea, how you can follow creators that inspire you, and make amazing ideas with data-driven metrics. You'll then advance to researching techniques to build out your ideation pipeline for the next 6 months in the next 60 minutes. Now, if you don't know what ideation means, it's basically brainstorm, so stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to use Spotter Studio and how it can help you make videos more consistently. As creators, we all know how hard it can be to stay on top of everything, from researching ideas, brainstorming new concepts, and keeping project organized. I know I was never really great at that. We often jump between different tools. It's impossible to have everything in one place, and that is why we built Spotter Studio's homepage, to give you a single spot where you can manage your creative process from start to finish. At the top of the page, you can easily brainstorm a new video idea by just typing in what your video is about. Below that, you can see your videos, which will help you manage your video projects. At the page's bottom, you can find outliers from creators you follow to help find overperforming videos with ease. You can click See More after Outliers and the project page to explore those pages, or click the flyout wheel at the top left to go to the full view. From the homepage, you can also access support, our online community, and Spotter Studio settings. In the top right, make sure to click that heart icon because it is where all of your saved items go. You can also start a new video project and go to your profile. So in short, the homepage is your creative home base. It is where you and your team should start every day. Whether you're researching, brainstorming, or managing projects, everything you need is right here to help you stay on track and work smarter. So let's try typing in "I sang on 7 continents in 7 days." It would be expensive, but super freaking awesome. As creators, we all know that a great video starts with a great idea, but sometimes it's super tough to keep the creativity flowing. I know after getting through like 400 music videos, I could barely think of another idea, and I wish I had this. We've all been there. We've been stuck. What idea do we do? So that's why we came up with Brainstorm. It's like having your own creative partner that helps you shape and refine ideas while staying true to your unique style, while staying true to you, which is the whole point of this. It's a collaborator. After you share your idea, Brainstorm comes up with different title options for you. From there, you have 5 options to fine-tune your idea and your title. First, rephrase, which rewrites the title in a new way. Shorten, which does exactly what you think it would do. Explode, which tweaks your title based on YouTube's best practices, but also gives you so many different windows in which to look at this idea through. It's like, honestly, one of my faves. Mood shift, which gives you title ideas that match different emotions. And this but, which basically allows you to take it into any direction you want. Almost like you type in whatever you want and you send it in that direction. Anyway, let's click my personal favorite, Explode. Now you can save the titles that you like, add them to your saved items up top on the right, generate more options, or keep brainstorming. This can go on as long as you like. My biggest pro tip as somebody who uses this all the time is to try at least 5 title options. Titles are great to have. You never know if when you come back and you're like, actually, that third title would really work. The video isn't performing as well as I would like, so let's try a new one. When you're in the idea phrase, more is better. And it can always send you in a new direction. So awesome. Now, say you want to workshop this idea further and think through the video concept. At the bottom bar, let's click Concept. Now, Brainstorm is helping you think through what concepts the video could be based on the primary title that you already selected. You can continue brainstorming by getting more variations in the style, exploding, or refining the idea with this but. Let's see some variations and keep a couple that we like. Okay, seeing that we now have a title and a concept, let's create a thumbnail to refine this idea even further by clicking on Thumbnail. See, incredible. One very important thing to note, these thumbnails are only here for inspiration, not to use just as is. You can brainstorm variations and choose different expressions, surprise, sad, happy, or you can really take the wheel and go into this but and put in anything. You could say, now I want to be on Mars, now on the moon, actually I'm in the ocean, and it will work. Let's keep 2 concepts and add them to our options. Actually, let's do a third. You can see all of the thumbnails, titles, and concept options that we kept while brainstorming. Similarly to title, I recommend at least 3 to 5 iterations of each. At any time during the brainstorm, you can adjust your inputs by adding text, sliding a scale for the ideas, or to be similar to your outliers or related outliers from videos your audience also watches. By that, I mean double downing on things that work for you or leaning into things that work for other channels your audience also watches. Selecting your thumbnail style from 3 styles, sketch, concept, and realistic, adding a description of your audience, or including other details. One of my favorite features in Spotter Studio is to use the input to steer brainstorm. As a creator, I can have an entirely new idea mid-brainstorming session and very quickly steer brainstorm in my new inspired direction. Now let's head back to Project to exit this brainstorming session for now. Now, projects in Studio are designed to keep you organized as you work on your next big video. We all know how important it is to stay organized, but it's easier said than done. Between juggling ideas in development, post-production tasks, and managing multiple published dates, this is overwhelming. Being a creator is so hard. It's not as easy as it looks from the outside. And staying on top of everything leaves creators like myself buried under a mountain of sticky notes and to-do lists, which just give me so much anxiety. So that's why we created Projects, to have an all-in-one planner to help you stay organized. For example, we've got this project that we just made called I Sang on 7 Continents in 7 Days. As always, you can brainstorm more thumbnails, titles, and concepts by just clicking the brainstorm button. Now, you also have the options on the flyout menu where you can see saved thumbnails, titles, and concepts right here on the options. If you like any of those options more than the one that you currently have, you just click the Make Primary button to set that title as your main one. You can also rename the project, duplicate it, or delete it. Also, when you hover over the 3-dot button on the thumbnail, you'll get options to add a new one, download the image, or delete it. For now, let's just add new. You can describe the kind of thumbnail you want and keep brainstorming, or if you've already got a thumbnail idea, you can upload an existing one. A really good thing to do is take the outliers and reverse engineer the things that are working for the creators that you chose, that you started following, because starting from there will already give you data-backed reasons to ideate based off of those compositions. For titles and concepts, you've got similar options. Keep brainstorming with Brainstorm, or you can add new, copy, or delete ideas as you refine them. You can also jump into the idea workshop to take your concept further. Now, I recommend choosing general so you have the most story elements to choose from, but I love goal, rising action, hook, climax, resolution, and specifically B-plot because trying to get us to make these long videos because they're taking over the living room. So check out B-plot. Think it might help if you elongate that video. Now, once you've worked through your video idea, head to the top right corner where you'll find 3 tabs: Properties, Notepad, and History. In Properties, you can change the project from private, which means only you can see it, to team so that your team members can collaborate. As your idea evolves, you can update the status to show where the video is in your planning pipeline. You can also set a publish date, target video length, and add sponsors. And you can pick the video type. You just keep everything organized and right on schedule right there. Now, don't forget, you can add notes in Notepad. You can use the History tab to track changes you or your team have made along the way. Because with projects, you can keep your best ideas organized and ensure that they move smoothly from concept to creation so that your best ideas come to life. Now, that was just a quick overview of how you can start using Spotter Studio to make better videos more consistently. We built this tool for creators and with creators just like you and I to help all of us produce content that's not only better, but more consistent. It is a powerful system that is easy to use and fully tailored to you and your channel. I am so excited to see what you all create. Please, please, please DM me, @mention me on all socials. I can't wait to see what you're making. Reach out. I'll make sure that my team puts it in front of me, and I will respond to as many of you as possible. Do not hesitate. You can also find me on Idea Lab, our community, so reach out to me there. We are here to support you, and I cannot wait to see how Spotter Studio helps you on your creative journey. There's much more to come.
Well, well, dang, Peter, it looks like you're having so much fun over there at Spotter. This tool looks amazing. I don't know. I'm glad you're having a great time.
I really am. I really think it's going to change a lot of people's creative workflow. It's going to really help you feel confident again in your choices because they're going to be data backed. You get to learn alongside others that you follow, and like the coolest thing at Spotter is that like I'm actually helping people like you be able to like offer this to their audience for like actually 2 months for free, which is like way more than we even give to like just people showing up on the website. And most AI companies don't offer things for free because it is so expensive, because token costs and like all these APIs are very expensive. And so I just think it's so cool that no matter what, you get to try something out for 2 entire full months with, truthfully, like in 2 months, you can come up with like an entire year's worth of ideas and contents that you can just like, you know, save and download. And you'll realize really quickly, in my opinion, I'm very biased, that this is absolutely a tool worth subscribing to. But like, dude, like put your like link to get a 2 months free trial over my face, or a QR code or whatever, and like get people to try this, because I think they're gonna love it. Really,
we'll do that. We'll put a QR code right there on the screen for any of you if you're watching on a TV or something, and we'll put a link in the pinned comment, description, maybe a card up there. It'll be everywhere. You do get 2 months for free, which I actually do think is pretty outrageous given how amazing this tool is and how you really could create a year's worth of content plans in those 2 months.
Let's go.
Really, like in a handful of hours within those 2 months.
Honestly, like I recommend people like turn Spotter Studio into like their like homepage when they open their Chrome or Safari browser or whatever, because if you just spend 5-10 minutes, it creates joy because you're like, oh, that's a cool idea. Oh, that's a cool thumbnail.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool concept. And then you just save it all, and then you're like, cool. Well, I started the day great. Now I'm gonna go jump in the cold plunge, or go on a walk, or help feed my dog.
Yeah.
Or
This is what we'll do. If you sign up in the next week from the time this video publishes, we will do a live, we'll walk through the entire tool. I will answer any questions that you're having. Like, we'll do this live, right here on YouTube.
Let's go. And if you want me, dude,
I'm
I'll
only going to
show
tell you
up.
about it if you sign up.
I'll show up too. So if you want me, and I'm a power user dork, so.
Oh yeah. Pete, I've been using it for longer than most people because I've had access to it for a while, but Peter uses it even more than I do. So
maybe
this is going to be awesome.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Like now. Thanks, Peter. It's
thanks for your
always
time,
so
Rick.
much fun.
My pleasure.
Yeah.